Hey,
Omenes.
hey, you're listening to the podcast.
Friends.
Omenerds Podcast.
Hey, what's up? You're listening to the Omenerds Podcast with me, Max, Lorizi, Twitter, Jimmy, and Teamwork, making sure that we all sound amazing. We will be talking about culture and having lots of interesting conversation, serving you a bunch of random facts and laughs.
In case you guys just joined us on this episode of the Omenerds Podcast, we are honored to have Jim Chuchu and Jokingumi from The Nest as our guests today. This is a really big deal for our first episode, you guys. These guys are amazing. You probably know of their work with The Nest, with some of their most popular projects being Stories of Our Lives and Tukomacho.
Hi, I'm Joki. I'm here with one of my oldest friends in the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're one of my oldest friends in the world.
The first time I saw Njoki, she was in the middle of a church drumming, and she had this like afro, and I was like, wow, I've never seen someone drumming like that.
With an afro.
Yeah.
In church.
Yeah.
In church.
What show was it?
Hey,
Was it like a practice or something?
it was either a practice or like a concert.
Okay. Yeah, it was a concert.
It was a concert.
But yeah, then we became friends.
Yeah, then we became friends, and then now we work together.
And how's your... I mean, you do such amazing things. That's why I was asking about this energy.
Where
you
did
know?
it start from?
Yeah. Is it something that you've cultivated? Because you're a doctor.
Did you walk up to her and tell her about her afro?
No, I was polite, as one is on the first day you meet someone.
This one is also polite most of the time. Yeah.
We met through Bill, was like the mutual friend, and then like you become friends on your own right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we were friends for a long time.
Yeah.
Because like through med school, and then this one and another friend of ours, George visited me when I was in the throes of
Hating.
working as a doctor and hating it.
We are also in a group of 12, so the energy is also a lot more about the 10 other people.
Yeah,
But the friendships help.
yeah, they do.
So like Joki and I have friendships, George and Joki have a friendship, George and I have a friend. Like all these friendships kind of multiply on one another to get us to a place where the energies are,
And synchronicity.
yes.
So the nest, obviously, is the next question. Just explain exactly what it is and how it came to be.
The Nest was a space when it started, and that was me and George who had this idea on paper about this place where we could gather all the people who didn't particularly fit into all the boxes that Nairobi kind of had culturally, which were like the older artists and the Afrofusion kind of like, and that was a whole set of beliefs and culture and you know, like there was a group.
Outcomes.
And then there was the urban, very heavily urban kids, and then there was kind of the Christian and all the ripples of Christian, because that's also quite a large group. And we felt like those, like in all those circles, there was a group that was missing, the misfits, the ones who didn't really fit in for whatever reason. So we created Nest, and we thought that we could create this place where all those misfits could find a place. And that worked to some extent. We did that for about 2 years, until 2014. And then we realized that the biggest misfits were the people running the Nest.
So one of the biggest projects that you guys did was Stories of Our Lives.
Right.
Yeah, which was like, wow, you did the movie, it was banned. We were all like, okay, are these guys going to get arrested?
Right? So many questions.
Oh my God, what's wrong with Kenya? How dare they? And then you
Fight
guys
for
decided
power.
to do a book, but how's the book doing?
The book is doing very well.
Yeah?
The book is doing well in that way that things do well in Kenya secretly. So like the bookshops are asking us for more copies because they keep running out.
Oh, okay,
And we
that's
have to
sounds
print
pretty
more.
good, yeah.
But like no one talks about that book, which is kind of cool, I guess, because Kenya is an interesting country where people... The thing we always say about Kenya, silence is the language that Kenyans speak very fluently, even more so than English and Kiswahili. So then the book exists very much in that space.
We went for the
launch.
Yeah, we came for the launch.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was really
with the
dope.
lights
That was
falling
it
down.
was
Huh?
dope.
With the lights falling down, and the pictures from that actually looks magical.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
this
like
is,
it helped with the scene.
yeah, this was meant to be. It's a blessing. Look at that light just
Yeah.
touching. And then you also did the Tukomacho.
Tukomacho was trippy. Like one of the things you never know with Kenyans, you never know with Kenyans. In fact, that's a
That's a
complete
general
sentence.
statement.
Yeah.
Like and you speak as a Kenyan when you say a thing like that, because actually just because somebody got you to a gig last week doesn't mean that you're going to go next week. We're terrible with
That's true.
Yeah.
with continued relationships like that, because we're so used to this kind of crisis mode life where you don't make investments with your time, you don't make investments with your money.
That's
People
With your
want to-
friendship, with your love, all those
No,
things.
you
It's like-
can't.
Yeah, guys
Which
are
is-
like, I came to the first one.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
yeah.
And then, because people are used to this thing where you give, and then you don't get anything in return, you want people to give you.
Yeah.
So people will tell you they watched the first episode, you should have told them when you were releasing the other.
The second one.
They're not going to go look for
Yeah.
your content.
Exactly. And so, one of the things I've been realizing is that instead of being, offended by this whole iteration, is to, kind of understand what the context is for it, right? Which is, again, this crisis mode, relationshipless space.
I think there's a YouTuber who said she gets so many views on her Belessa Africa.
Besa.
Yeah, she gets so many views on her videos, but it doesn't make sense because she doesn't have as many subscriptions.
Yeah.
So you'll come and watch
Guys,
the
don't come
video,
back
you
again.
don't click
Yeah.
that. You don't do
I think the thing that
subscribe.
set us, well, where I come from has always been that I've been doing this for a while, and there's that when you're starting out, it's your friends who are supporting you, the ones who come for gigs and all that stuff. And then it reaches a place where the friends versus strangers ratio starts to shift. And your friends start feeling like, okay, they don't have to come anymore because these guys now.
you have
Yeah,
a
you
crowd
have a
now.
following.
So yeah, and I think that knowledge kind of set me free from expecting my friends to know what I do. And I guess as a nest, then that means that then when we make stuff, we don't expect our friends to
Always be on it.
Yeah.
or even to be on it at all.
Yeah.
But all your friends
Because
work
they
at
can
the
truly
nest.
come and tell you.
That's funny. But you work together, so they
you're
should be
all-
on it.
And even internally, we
sometimes-
make room
Yes.
for guys in the office to be not
Not super.
into
So
a
it doesn't
thing.
feel mandatory.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now the mandatoriness also now it translates in different ways. So for instance, a lot of my friends would come and say that they caught Tukomacho and then they didn't realize it was us guys that made it, and then they see your name in the
Which
credits
is
and they're like,
amazing.
oh my gosh. And then they call you and then they say, why didn't you tell? So that's a whole
Again,
guilt.
the cycle.
It's a guilt cycle also,
Yeah.
because your friend also feels like you might
You're not including them.
Yeah.
it could be that they could also feel that you should have told them and they would have known earlier, so they feel like they got on a train late and you could have helped them get on the train earlier. So there's also that happening,
Being in the know.
right?
So getting all these reactions from people that you know about the art that you're creating, and you've done a lot again, do you ever get that sense that the feedback from people, how the energy is coming back to you?
Tukomacho was particularly intense in terms of feedback because of the whole Facebook thing, and so the reactions were immediate.
Yeah.
And we made a point to really talk to people and kind of answer all the questions. So every time an episode went up, there was Njoki or Mars, or, people would take shifts just answering questions.
Sometimes we would even someone would ask something that was so complex and layered, we'd have to have a meeting about that question. So it would be this person has said, and then we look at it and we're like, man, okay. Yeah, because also we answer the questions as the Nest collective. So there's some things I'll type and I know that definitely this will be behind me. There's some things I'm not entirely sure.
Needs to be a
Yeah.
discussion.
Yes. And so then we present we have these thoughts around this.
In the first few weeks, the major reaction was surprise that we were responding, because I guess people are not used to getting response from the
Yeah.
Yeah.
so that was cool. But then for us, the project lasted so long because the first episode went out in June, 15th of June, and the last episode went out in November. And so for us, by the time we were ending, man, it was that there was a group of people who were in conversation with us. And I remember the last episode was a little bit emotional because there was like several layers of separation where the characters were leaving, like they were going away.
Yeah.
Which is, and weird things that Tukomacho were editing it as we were going. So,
Really?
so for us,
A
also it was-
madhouse.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That seems like a lot.
It was a lot.
But if you do that, it's the energy keeps being the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it
And you
meant
keep-
that even that week when the episode was edited, the last one, also we were going through that feeling of like, oh man,
yeah,
this is
we're
the last
done
episode.
now.
The characters are leaving, and then the audience were doing that. So it was like a very intense week emotionally, which is cool. Like you make something and
you
hope
get
that
quite
it's-
a big response,
You
and
always
you
hope,
have
man.
conversations
Yeah.
around it.
So like I guess maybe like you have to enjoy the moments you get with people.
Yeah.
You have to enjoy the moments you get with people. My favorite comment, and I keep telling the people in the house, and they're like, yeah, it's because my favorite moment from the whole Tukomacho commentary was this one guy who came and asked if Tukomacho passes the Bechdel test.
It's a
And
good
it doesn't.
question.
It doesn't.
For shame.
It does not. No, but this is the thing. I went and I thought about it and I was like, the Bechdel test is actually rather shallow because
They have come up with a new one, though, I think. Yeah.
They-
I see discussions about.
around a different one.
Yeah.
I would like to know about this different one. I
Yeah.
hope it's a little deeper. But like if you think about there's a movie called Legally Blonde that passes the Bechdel test because two girls talk about a dog, right?
Yeah.
That's passing the Bechdel
But also,
test
it's a
in
favorite.
moment.
Also, it's a favorite movie of mine.
So I'll not knock it too hard.
So please be gentle.
I'll not knock it. But then the thing that we said was that we'd put very deliberate energy and intention and expression into the female characters that we had made, into the situations we had put them in, into their dialogue. We'd had such long iterations during script writing, during production.
Hey guys, we'll be right back with Jim Chuchu and Joking Gumi from the Nest.
Friend?
Omenerds Podcast.
Okay, so basically, we're having a really difficult time. Everybody is. We have politics every single day. People need to find a way to escape the scene, you know? Just the fact that the world is burning and you're just depressed, whatever. How are you able to give yourself space or an hour out of the day to kind of say, this is my time. I'm going to invest these 2 hours on something I enjoy, that makes me laugh, that makes me not think about, the shit that my life is right now.
And that's why Churchill is still a show.
Churchill! Is it a...
No, as in, yeah, because guys don't really understand the form of escape, like self-care per se. It's not something that you are like taught explicitly. Yeah.
As a millennial,
Yeah, you weren't taught
addiction.
You weren't taught that. Like, so now, like the TV shows that we love to hate are a form of escape, especially like, for the machinani
Nairobi
type guys.
Diaries.
Okay.
That
That's
sounds
my
dope.
that's my form of escape, by the way. And I'll beat anybody who says that I should stop watching that show.
Okay,
That
I
show's
mean,
the
but
truth.
at least you acknowledge that it's garbage,
It's
right?
garbage, and I love it so much.
And it's like, no, but I understand why guys keep watching it, though.
Yeah.
I
It's really
get it.
entertaining. The only thing they do wrong is lack of editing.
You watch it?
Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They have really
I'm obsessed with
bad
that show.
editing.
I watch it too. My only problem is they don't edit it enough. Yeah, if they edited
Or
it to
if
just
it was
the
30
dramatic
minutes.
parts.
No, if they
perfect,
edited
edited
It's
it
laziness.
well.
30
That's what
minutes,
that
yeah.
It
is.
is laziness.
Yeah.
Oh, but they are making money. They are
they
making
making
money.
money?
They are.
How are they
I
still
saw
in
the
production?
creator on the newspaper, like on a full page interview, the creator and director of Nairobi Diaries. And she was like, she tried selling it to like 3-4 TV stations before it finally took off.
It's
And
okay,
it's been
24
worth it
were
for
like
her.
the visionaries.
Yeah.
What else do you use to cope other than stupid
Than
shows
television?
that you love to watch and hate on?
Alcohol?
And drugs in general.
What are you doing? Crack? What the Hey, at least I'm not drinking, Brian.
This show does not advocate for drug use or alcohol use. So,
Like, do it at your own risk.
yes. You didn't hear it here. I'm sorry. So, drugs for me is not a coping mechanism.
Oh, really?
But alcohol, is alcohol a drug? Does it?
Of
Yes,
course
it is. It's a luxury
It kills
drug.
more people than like weed.
Yeah, but alcohol though. Have you had a cocktail that just blesses the roots in your hair and your life just realigns and the visions?
Yeah.
Oh man, but booze is a problem.
Is it though?
Becomes
Just
a
because we
problem.
don't have like regulation.
In moderation, though. I'm
We
not
have
saying like.
I mean, no, I'm talking about the production standpoint. We don't have regulation. You remember the counterfeit stores where people are finding panties and pads and shit in like the bottles?
I don't know this story.
You're kidding.
You know this tanks for water. So in there they throw in a bunch of things just
To give it the right color.
Really?
and different like it was really
Tell
disgusting.
me you guys saw that. Like they were finding underwears and things in
But
like
was it good though?
No,
In the
Guys were dying.
In
what
what?
do you
they were
mean?
getting high. It wasn't even those ones of I've gone blind. People were just dying.
Guys were dying. You know, it's not like it didn't come with a disclaimer like which one did you have to tie the bottom of your pants?
That's more.
Oh, yeah.
Country walker.
Still, because you know
Was
you're
it country
going to
walker?
because you're
shoot
going to
yourself.
shit.
Also,
but
again,
then there's also a lot of propaganda behind those things
Yeah.
of this trash in the booze nini. Because you'll see like cops raided a Changaden somewhere in Madare, Kawangware, Kibera, and are pouring it out. But it's like brown dirty shit. But changa is like a clear liquid.
Yeah.
So they don't pour out the changa, they pour out the dregs of whatever is left
What is
after
left
distillation.
behind.
Like that's trash. It was in the dustbin.
Yeah.
That's why it had panties and pads and all that. So
Ah.
fake news sometimes.
news.
yes.
So it's
Point.
propaganda because we are a moral country and we do not condone alcohol use.
And also the
We are
breweries
fakers.
prefer you
Listen,
drink
even though
KC
we are
and not
fakers.
changa.
even though Jesus
Kenyans
turned
are
water
the
to wine,
fakers.
even though Jesus turned water to wine, please.
Well, he spiked the
Yo,
wedding
So there's that.
drinks.
Please don't start. Listen, religion is an escape for a lot of people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
That's true.
nice.
Yes.
Like, I don't understand how my pastor says, listen, God has told me that I need to be blessed with a Range Rover. And so I need everyone in my congregation to give what is in your heart.
Listen, if you're trying to get scammed and you get scammed, it's your own fault. If he wants to drive a Range Rover, let the man drive a Range Rover. If you guys are willing to pay for it for him.
That's what I don't understand.
And another
so
thing-
you go in there just thinking,
And another thing about religion, it's not you standing on the outside judging these guys giving money. They're giving that 200 because it makes them feel a certain way, right? It's their own way. It's their own prayer or their own sacrifice. So it makes them feel good. For this
Yeah.
person giving offering, to them it's an act.
And
of
they
love.
feel
yeah,
good.
I'm talking
And they
about.
feel
I'm not
good.
talking about the person giving. I'm wondering, like these pastors, like
You
they don't,
gotta
they
make
don't
this
give a-
money
they don't give a
somehow.
crap at all.
No, they don't.
And then when you call them out, a
It
couple
makes
of years
me
ago,
annoyed that they take advantage of that. But
Yeah.
the point is, let a guy earn a living. If that's how you've decided to go and you're able to squelch your conscience to near your butt and it doesn't bother you anymore, it's okay. Christians make bank, but just the pastor.
I mean, pastor na affiliates.
But then they have employees, so they
pastor
create
na
employment.
affiliates, what? They make money.
I used to go to this church.
You went to church? Really?
I did. I'm ashamed of that part of my
Was it a
life.
dark time in your life?
Yes. But I went because I had to go to this university.
Tell
and
me
you
when to
have
Bara.
And you have to get a letter, a testimony from your pastor.
No.
Yeah. Like you have to attach it to your application.
Yeah.
That you're
Yeah,
a
yeah, that's
Christian
true.
in real
Yeah,
life,
yeah.
not catfish.
So I went to
Catfish.
two universities. So the first one, I had to go that was when I was much younger. So I went to this guy and I told him, yeah, I'm giving my life to, because I had to get saved. Otherwise he wouldn't sign that thing, right? Because he's not going to send lies. He's not going to sign lies.
52-week
So I was
challenge.
prayed for. Yeah, I was prayed for. And then that was the last time I ever went to church, right? Because I went to a Christian university and we went to church anyway, like 2-3 times a week. Then when I was doing my master's, I went to another school that's also needed a letter from my pastor. So I had to go back, get
To the OG
resaved.
guy.
Yes. And the difference, this guy was huge.
Making that
his Bible now was no
money.
longer the paper one. He had an iPad.
Making
And this
that
was when? This was 20...
moolah.
guy, I don't say my age, but yeah, it was quite a while
Quite
ago.
a while ago.
iPads were just brand new. This
Like
guy,
they had just come to the scene.
he had a Subaru. I was like, damn.
Living that good life, maybe.
Yeah,
That's
so-
what I'm saying. So
You know.
let's start a church then. As in
Be
when
that
you-
guy.
you-
And I want to be a marriage counselor.
And the congregation will be there. There are always rich
Always.
people who feel
Even-
guilty about
even
having so many
after-
riches and they'll pay into the church. And there are always poor people who want
give.
it to multiply, so they'll just
that's
give
why
their
they
savings.
give. They give so that it multiplies. And I'm like, even after your pastor has been involved in 325 scandals, you
They still
still
stand
go
with their
back.
pastor.
Do you remember Kanyari?
Yes.
Exactly.
He grabbed a woman's boob in front of an entire congregation, and
on.
this man still has people listening to him.
Niko na shida ya matiti ile nilikuambia kwa message. Ilianza 208.
Matiti.
Inauma hata mpaka silali. Nikienda hospitali wananiambia
Hii
kuna
ama hii.
kitu.
Unasikia?
I started watching that dude on TV like way before he became famous. You remember GBS TV?
Yeah.
That Korean one had like pastas all day.
Okay,
I
Jimmy,
used to
why
watch
were
it for,
you on that?
for
Why were you
entertainment
on that
value.
channel?
That
It's free.
It was
thing
an
is-
escape.
It was one
Alright.
of
every Sunday.
It's one of the
at-
free
yeah.
to air ones though.
We used to have this thing on Twitter, Bedside Baptist, and
Yeah.
we'd talk about the preachers. But like I knew this guy's gonna be a star. So
Charisma.
when I saw him in Scandals, Nini, I wasn't shocked because
You
he's
were-
been
you saw
charismatic.
the potential.
He's always had the potential.
So the rich guys want to give people money, right?
to alleviate their guilt.
So they go to warogis as well.
True.
So you've kind of got the balance. You know,
Best
you go
of-
to
best of
God,
both, best of
you
both.
go to witchcraft. Like you remember before elections, and there were all these stories about guys going to see mganga kutoka.
Yeah. You know, that's a
Patanga.
low.
Kutoka Zanzibar.
You go to a daktari for all the problems in your life, so that you don't have to deal with them.
Yeah.
I feel like you're moving, you're giving your problems to one person. It's like
Oh yeah. The
Where-
agony ants.
Yes, agony ants, where you give them your problem and you don't solve it yourself until you get a response. So you go to the mganga, you tell him, my wife's cheating on me. You're not thinking I'm going to fix whatever the problem is. You want to roga her. you-
Ndo umse akwame.
But you believe that shit is real, like
I do.
witchcraft.
No. Okay, well, not witchcraft, but the thing of the penis getting stuck
Oh
in
no,
the vagina.
that's science.
Yeah, that's science. But those things
But
are
I'm saying
hilarious.
it's science.
It's science. You
But
just
vaginismus,
go
is that
try.
the right term
Yeah.
for it? Where the vaginal muscle.
That's why they always get stuck in a lojo.
Yeah.
Like somewhere where you're not feeling very at ease.
It is an actual
And then someone
thing.
knocks on the door.
You don't hear
And
those
you're
things
there,
happening
someone's
as
So
like-
well.
so they all go back and then
Unakamatwa.
it clenches up and suddenly somebody is stuck in
And
there.
you,
You've seen it
and
in
you have
dogs
to
as
go.
well.
You have to go to Hosi to be injected with a muscle relaxer.
Yeah,
really?
the muscle relaxer that then now like
So that the meat
muscles,
falls out of
the
the
muscles,
bun.
yeah.
Me, I
The
had
meat
that.
falls
Me, I
out.
had that. I had that. The best cure is to wait like 10 minutes and then paka toothpaste.
Toothpaste.
Yeah, the mint.
Kwani
It is
kwani
again.
unatoa stamp?
Sort
Yeah,
of a
like you
muscle
just
relaxer.
wait and then paka
So
toothpaste.
okay, just think about the logistics of that. So you try to stand up, both of you, how
To get the
to get the
toothpaste.
toothpaste, or do you start sending? Please come. We need you in this lojo
Bring
to come.
toothpaste.
Bring Colgate.
But then again, some of those cases that you see on TV, Nini, some of them are scams too. I think it's just a matter of faith. Like for everyone, there are people who choose Uganga, there's Christians and whatever religion.
There are people who choose both.
Everyone has the faith in a direction they want to lead them. And then on the other end, there's service providers of faith, Muganga, pastor, and whatever. Now them, they're on some other shit. They can choose to help you the direction you want to go or take advantage of it. So many of them take advantage of you.
You know who's the biggest consumer of witchcraft? And this is just some bullshit stats that I have in my head. Politicians.
Politicians. Yeah.
I've heard that.
I've
Yeah.
heard of it.
It's true.
Why?
It's because they know the people believe in it. So they know it works for them.
Gotta
Like
win.
once people hear at Laura alienda kwa mganga and she's running for MP, then you
Jesus.
come and give us money and then we spread
Lorisi.
word that hey, if
You
you
sleep-
could add Lorizi's
No, you
money and you
sleep in a
don't
cow.
vote.
There was a guy like what's that movie with what's his face, Leonardo DiCaprio? Did he
Ah, The
sleep
Reverend.
inside
The
a bear?
Reverend, it was
Yeah.
a bear.
He slept inside a bear. I never watched that movie.
I
I
didn't
didn't watch
watch
it.
it
I actually
either.
thought the bear
He slept-
slept
Why
inside
didn't
him.
anybody-
No,
watch
he
that
slept
movie.
inside a horse.
A horse.
Okay, so then the same concept, but you sleep inside a sacred cow.
How,
They
what
kill a
makes the
cow
cow
and-
sacred?
it's been blessed with herbs, and then it's been killed by them.
That sounds like seasoning more than blessing. Sounds like seasoning.
It's been killed ritually.
Like it's facing north, and the knife is
and
made
its
from
blood only
silver.
spills somewhere.
Right.
Knife is, and then like
And then
at
you
a
cut it
certain
open.
angle, and then the blood had to gush out
And you
like
remove-
down the
you remove the
ribs and the
innards.
valleys.
And a spell was said as
You
it
remove
died,
the innards
so-
and then you climb in and you sleep there until when the sun comes up, and then the witch doctor comes and washes you with like some blessed water, and then you win.
I would be
You're
a
reborn.
vegetarian instantly.
Yeah,
after that.
you win.
Like if I slept in a cow.
Yeah.
It's
But
okay,
it
I'm
also-
good. Never
I-
eating meat
it's a no from
again.
me.
I
Yeah,
think the
it's
bigger
a-
effect is that the voters here, you did that.
And so now
they're
they
like,
spread
if
the
you don't vote for
propaganda.
this person, man,
then
things
because you
will be
took the
good for
money.
you. Yeah, if you took this person's money and don't vote, you'll die and be found in a cow. So you're
I'm
like,
okay.
it's okay.
I'm okay with
Let me
that. I'll
just
take all the
vote.
money.
That's funny.
What else are we escaping from other than politics right now?
Being broke?
Isn't that a cause of the politics? Like right now?
Yeah, but then it's still something that I need to escape.
True.
Like I have no money. And
Twitter.
then you know
You
the
look
worst
like you have
reality
money.
that-
You know, so
Twitter,
what
you look
thing-
like you
I
have
do
money.
not
Where are you getting
have
money
money.
from?
the worst thing about not having money is then now bumping into people who seem like they just went to a tap and are just like collecting buckets and buckets of it.
Tenderpreneurs.
I'm at the club and you're spending my rent. On
Entrepreneurship
drinks.
is how you escape brokenness.
Like you're spending my rent on
Hey,
drinks.
that's a line.
What do they want?
Get you a tender babe.
Get your tender.
Tender babe. Hashtag tender babe. That should be a thing though. I mean, really.
but I feel like Twitter just looks like he has money.
No.
Took us
This
up
is
with
just looks.
tenders. Those jeans look
He's
expensive.
He's
Please,
managing.
everything I wear just hand me down.
What we're saying about escapism is that it's a continuous process. You will find new things to distract you from whatever is happening. And whatever you decide to do, do it in moderation.
Escape in moderation.
Escape in moderation.
Yes.
Max, I feel if I was in Alliance, I wouldn't have anything to escape
Oh
from.
my god.
I think that would just solve the escapism problem that we have.
If you
You're in a lance.
Twitter is a fool.
Don't
you want us
start,
to be,
please.
you want us to be blocked
them
by
to come
Alliance.
for us. You want the alliance.
But
Listen,
it's true. You
I
see,
bet
those
you-
guys have
you know what has
as long
happened?
as they remember, when I was in Bush, and then
Suddenly their life is
suddenly their life
better.
is so much better than yours.
Suddenly they can hear you. It's like a watering hole, and there's like a lion approaching. They have had you now. Someone is
Okay,
showing
our
up now.
producer teamwork, you need to cut out some of this shit. Can't trash talk Alliance.
That's just Twitter's way of escaping the fact that he didn't go to Alliance.
Oh,
Wow. Damn, Jimmy.
I didn't go to
My
Alliance by the
There's some water around here.
Thanks.
This Omenerds podcast is just for undercover Alliance haters.
This Omenerds podcast
Bush
was
Subarus.
not sponsored by Alliance. Has this ever happened to you? You stay home to get some work done, you're properly adulting, and just as you're getting into the flow of things, either your electricity goes or your internet gets messed up. You should check out the Banda Space. It is a nice place to go and solve all of your working problems. They provide you with internet and they have a generator backup, so you will not be at the mercy of circumstances beyond your control. You should check out the Banda Space. It will only cost you $450 bob a day to work there.
All right. We're moving on to the next section where everybody gets a chance to sort of give a little bit about what they're doing this week, what they're enjoying, what they're listening to, what they're feeling, what they're loving this week.
Twitter, run
Say something.
with it.
I'm a big fan of just spending my time watching YouTube videos. And there's one thing that I'm really enjoying. It's Swahili Girl, like vlog every day. Yeah, it's really cool.
What sort of stuff is she blogging about?
Just what she does during the day that she's talking about. Like if she walking about and saw a cat doing something. Or suddenly driving a motorboat and flying in, what's it called? One of those Cessna planes.
So she's living the life.
Oh, that chick
basically.
lives a life. Her coolness knows no bounds.
Okay. I think I'll check it out. Have you all seen Wonder Woman?
Yes.
That's what I'm plugging this week. If you get time, please go and watch Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman
Totally
is
agree.
such a fun movie to watch.
And when I went there, I was like, she's just gonna be, a woman who wonders, like, is you man? Is you sword? is you war, but it was
we would
so much
also-
better than that.
Like you to know
Wouldn't
that
that be
Twitter
Wandering
will not
Woman?
be here next week.
Wait, seriously. No, that would be
Zodiac.
Wandering Woman.
Wandering
Because it's an
Woman.
action.
I mean, I've been excited for that movie for a very long time, and it finally came out. And honest to God, it gave me
Dope.
real
I wonder
good
when
feelings.
the porn parody will be.
It's already out.
Yeah,
I
I'm
can
sure
put
it
money on it.
Actually, it was
Right
fast.
now,
It came
Google
out.
it.
It came
No,
out
it came out
fast.
fast.
Something I'm looking forward to read, let me shamelessly self-promote, is Will This Be a Problem? An anthology of short stories by Kenyan writers. And this will be the 3rd edition, so you can catch up on the first and the second one. Just check out Will This Be a Problem?
.com?
.com. The first edition featured sci-fi themes and futuristic sci-fi, but African based. So it's like something really fresh, like not things you've seen before. So I'm sure you'll enjoy that if you
What's
like
the theme
reading.
for this one?
Okay, I forgot, and I'm even writing one for them.
I know what it is.
But I'm focused on it. So historical fiction of some kind.
Historical fiction.
That sounds
Oh, when does it come
Historical
out?
fiction.
It should be out sometime in September
So you're writing one?
or 2.
Mr. Writer.
Okay. And we are back on the Omenerds Podcast with Jim Chuchu and Joking Gumi.
Do you watch Real Housewives of Kawangware? Sorry.
Real House Helps. Let me tell you.
It's House Helps.
I think it's
House
a brilliant
Helps.
show. It's like gold for TV.
Yeah.
Like the minute I watched like the very first, remember when there were just like three episodes of that show hanging around, and I watched it, I was like, this is gold. Because the actors were incredible. The stuff they were talking about, it was organic and it just flowed,
Because it's real
right?
stuff, yeah.
It's real. It's real. But then, like, it's that Kenyan reality where you're always laughing at shit, but you can't comment about, because the commentary will make all of you cry. You'll be like, wait. All of us just need to go home and cry.
I should be laughing at this.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
shouldn't.
It's the
be
same
laughing
thing
at
with
it. So Kenyans have managed
Yeah.
to become really good at farce.
Yeah.
We are very good
and
at
dark
farce.
humor.
And
That's
Because-
actually very
and,
true, yeah.
And the place where you see that a lot is with Naswa.
Yes.
Where Naswa is like one of the darkest
It's very
things
dark.
I've ever seen on TV, because the pranks they choose are really dark.
And they're really mean. They're like cruel. Like there's the one where like a man comes and slaps a woman
And
in
waiting
front of
to
everybody.
see- yeah.
Like Naswa is like Black Mirror, man. The commentary is about bad shit happening to people and everybody else watching it happen.
Yeah.
So if you watch Just for Laughs, like the Canadian one, it's funny. It's
It's
funny
like
on that
benign.
universal human level. But Naswa is like wow.
He went
Like,
dark.
in fact, when you're in a room watching it with many Kenyans, there's more shock in the audience than laughter. It's
Yeah.
more like, oh my God.
But then Naswa is
Yeah.
presented as laughing.
as humor.
And it's
Because
presented
and it's like
during...
there's a weird laugh track.
Yeah,
all
They
over.
have
Like,
the, yeah.
there's one where they have
have a
like a
canned
sack full of
laughter.
snakes,
Yeah.
and then like this guy would be like, struggling with a sack, and then someone comes to help you, and then you just throw a snake at them, and then like.
Why would you do that?
And then like a Kenyan just kind of recoils with like a writhing snake on
I
their neck,
never-
and then everyone's like, ha 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 ha, and I'm like, man, wow.
Like, no, this is...
Yeah,
My
yeah,
mind
and
is
it's
like
true. The
boof
initial
on
reaction is usually
Naswa.
like shock and oh my god and oh yeah, I can't believe
And
that
like,
happened.
and like that stuff tells you a lot about a people, because like if you watch like the Naswa equivalents in Brazil, right, they're all very ghost,
Yeah.
superstition, religious oriented. So you learn things about what people are believing, what they want to believe, what they're seeing at night.
So it's an audit, basically, of Kenya and their responses to the shit that's happening in their life. And they don't do anything. Kenya is about minding your own business. Mind
Kenya
your
is
own business.
jitegeme. Hashtag
Yeah.
jitegeme.
Yeah.
It's like just carry your shit. If someone is robbed next to you, be
Move
thankful
on.
that it was not you.
and watch out that you're not
Yeah,
robbed.
you take care of your shit. That's Kenya. And so I don't know why we are surprised when our government and all these things work the way that we do.
Yeah, because they told us jitegeme.
Yeah.
They are doing jitegeme themselves.
Maize is jitegeme. Power rationing, water rationing, all those things are just jitegeme. Buy a generator, buy jerrycans. Stop struggling. Why do you want water from the government? Like the fact that you get water every month is not a right.
It's a favor.
Yeah, you should
Yeah.
be solving
Yeah.
your own
If
problems.
the school milk stops, that's
Jitegeme.
It's
it was
like,
good while it lasted.
It's African chaos. by George Aite. I know it's a iffy book,
I
but
don't
like
know
there's
about
a place
African
where he
chaos
says,
because if you go to Rwanda,
yeah.
something else is happening there. If you go to TZ,
No, I wanted to reference a specific part where he's talking about how Congo is at the like when he was writing the book, and the fact that the people who are able to phone each other are only the rich people because they can afford the mobile phones because there's no telecommunication anymore. The guys who are able to go places are able to afford a helicopter or like a plane because there are no roads anymore. And every time I sit down and just look at what's happening right now, it's like you have money to do some stuff. There are people who have mad money and are living a totally different life from what you're living.
They don't understand your complaints.
KPLC. They
Like,
don't know
those?
your rationing issues. They don't know your ugali issues. What is ugali? Yeah, crazy.
There's two ways I want to look at that. Kenya is a slightly milder version of what's going on in the Congo. And what you've described about the Congo reminds me of Nigeria, where there's people that'll fly to Harrods for shopping for their house, right? You know, and these are things that happen. So for us here, the things that are happening, they're not that obscene yet, because they tried to do Uber Chopper here. It didn't work because there's no market. But so you know that there's money, but then the way in which it can be oil money or like blood diamond money or whatever money there is in Congo, it's like the variations are different. Yes, and in fact, the thing I wanted to say about escapism is that the not as bad escapism is as dangerous as.
But that's a mindset that we all have.
At least
we're not doing this.
There is a former president of this country who used to tell us, you guys are not Somalia, you know?
Yeah, at least it's not as bad as the next guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is an odd place, especially for a
very
leader
dangerous.
to be looking at what we are better than.
Yes.
Rather
You got
than
your
what-
SGR.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
You got your SGR. What is it?
What are you complaining about?
Yeah.
No one else has.
Yeah.
So, that's crazy.
And I guess that's like what happens when public conversations are confrontational. And then if you don't have enough public conversations, then people don't get used to public space for discussion. They get used to it for conflict.
Yeah, actually in the office, there's a question we hear a lot when people are writing stories, and then someone says, why can't we do a happy story? Because it's like kind of the way that the things that
Because your
feel,
souls are dark.
the things that
That's
feel.
actually a funny. That's like, do people want to watch happy stories?
The story is that the soup that they make,
that big
right?
sufuria.
You put in a lot of things. You never remove it from the
Pot-like.
fire.
Yeah.
So it's always chemkaing, right?
Wow.
So this soup, it's just you put in new ingredients, you put in more flavor,
You replenish
like
it
months,
over and
forever.
over.
You
Guy,
know,
just
it's
throw
like-
a cat in there.
So then at
that
night-
flavor profile. Just,
I can't do
So then at night, this paka is crawling.
So one falls.
I love this
in.
story.
I hate it
love this
so
story
much.
so much.
The guy who's cooking comes in the next day and he's korogaing and he's serving soup and he's wondering why is it just got like far,
Yeah.
right? And so he scoops the bottom, like to find out, and it's like
to
this
find, like, it's a
swollen
cat.
cat.
I love this story so much.
It's made me feel like crying.
Oh, wow.
So like that soup is like an all day thing. So
Don't
you
drink
don't know
soup
the difference
from
You guys even a loose chocorak and just end up in there.
and a rat,
Yeah.
and there's like a lot of and cockroaches and
Wow.
shit.
Speaking of Kenyan escapism, there's another thing.
This is you escaping that story.
Yes. There's another thing that we haven't said, and that is our reluctance to interrogate how and why Kenyan adults consume substances. So we are at this place where Kenyans need somewhere for their miraa to go, since everybody was trying to clamp down on miraa. And I think, honestly, the reason that they clamped down was so that Africans don't get all that money from legal drug trade.
Yeah.
Like, truly, because if you, in the scheme of things, miraa is not as harmful as some of these things. And I say this as it's a legit opinion from me. And then we are also at the place where everybody in the world is like negotiating marijuana, right? There's things marijuana can do medically. There's things that it does for human beings. But then what we don't understand is why and how Kenyans consume substances. There's all this shame around how we consume.
They consume
There's-
a lot.
right?
Yeah, it's
there's
true.
this binge habits for consuming. So like you wait till Friday, and then Friday to Sunday you're just there like gagging on, and then
Yeah.
and then Monday to Sunday you just pretend that you're like this together,
Straight
human
and narrow.
being, right?
Yeah.
And
There's a meme for
there's
this.
this whole the whole Mutudho situation,
Yeah.
where like nobody was able to stand up and tell him, as in, like you cannot come and single-handedly change the culture of a
culture.
country that has
Yeah.
been formed by Victorian Christian morals, shame, colonialism, and time. Like
Yeah.
all this shit has been brewing like that cat of you that was like in the pot. Right?
Yeah.
So there's escapism in our refusal to understand drugs as outside of an abuse context and understand adult recreation and understand how do you then raise somebody, like, because everybody is all about for the children, So how do you get into a place where people can consume substances responsibly? Like there are countries where people will go to a pub, they'll drink 2 beers and they'll go home,
Even in Kenya, there are people,
There are people
go
who
to
do
the bar
that,
and
but then we
drink
don't
2
talk
bars.
about those people. We just say everybody's a drunkard. And then if you think
Let's
about
ban
it,
everything.
and then in the whole Jitegemea thing, somebody came and said, we'll be able to do rehab in 3 months. I'm like,
Umejipangia. Yeah, that was a mess.
it was a 3-month
Yeah,
thing. People
it's a
said
mess.
3 months, these guys are going to be fine. I'm like, how the fuck do you know?
Yeah, because you're not investigating the root issue as to why the person
so
was
there's
consuming
escapism in
that.
refusing to investigate the root issue,
Yeah.
and there's escapism in refusing to face that adults consume things for recreation, and there's escapism in refusing to understand that there's money waiting
Yeah.
in the wings for people to do these things legally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I want to talk
moderately.
about that.
I do wonder whether the state has the capacity to consider Kenyan adults as being adults. Because if you look at a lot of the policies,
Yeah.
they're around controlling.
Yeah.
I don't know why you guys are skipping that question.
Oh, Hiva Fund.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
there's no escaping.
Oh, wow.
It's Hiva. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
So Hiva Fund, we started Hiva Fund 2 years ago, and the idea was, fine, we are doing all this art stuff, but on the other side is like we were curious about do we save money? Do we have mortgages? All those things that the entire creative community doesn't talk about, which is like in 10 years from now, all these guys who are doing top 10, kukimbia hapa Instagram, and where will we be as a community? Will we own houses? Will we be able to like retire?
Are we able to build wealth?
Yeah, are guys
Because of
saving
what
or
we
are they
do.
buying shoes? All those conversations we don't have as a community. Other professions, those conversations are there.
All the time.
There's the professional bodies, there's all these architectures, they have meetings and blah, blah, blah. As we run around, either we are being chased by state or we are chasing state or we are chasing one another, but we never... There's no intersectoral conversation. The musicians can be on the streets dying while the visual artists are painting. But like the theory is the same, isn't it? Like we make out of nothing, we make something, but are we making anything?
You're creating.
Yes. So now those conversations and how they apply to us even as individuals, like, is it easy for me to get credit to buy a camera? No, because the bank doesn't know what to do with my camera when I default. So then we're like, okay, this thing of artists don't understand money. It's like the whole country, the whole world operates under that theory that artists are the guys who need managers, they're the ones who need people to explain to them how income and expenditure works. And to some extent, that is true.
It's
And
knowledge everybody needs.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
but like if you look at generally young people, not many people understand economics and all that stuff.
And then in other countries, what they've managed to do is build an industry around the
Helping
money
people
of an
understand.
artist.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, on some level, other industries, other countries, you don't have to. But here you have to because you're your own manager, you're your own publicist, you're your own producer. You know how Kenyans
You're
work.
your own mkono.
You're
ya
your
every
kazi.
event-
Mkono.
In
To
every
Mkono,
event
yeah.
that we have for Hiva, people stand up and say, "Hi, my name is Fred. I'm a DJ, marketer, advertising." Like it's that Kenyan thing where people do everything.
Yeah.
So out of those concerns, we thought, okay, you guys, we need to make a thing that allows artists to get credit. Because in our heads, we thought credit is a problem. We have a lot of people working in advertising who get paid 9 months later. And in the meantime, you don't have your working capital. And I remember those struggles when I was a photographer. I want new equipment. I'm trying to save, but at the same time, you're paying me 6 months later. But you want me to have that equipment. How, if I go to a bank, I can't.
Yeah.
And everyone was having similar struggles. So we set out, okay, let's figure out this credit thing. And we did all this research about how money moves in the creative sector. And we learned all these things about how much money is in the creative economy and where it gets stuck and which fields are more professional, which ones need a lot more work. And so it's been 2 years of just kind of studying and learning and trying things out. And so I guess Hiva right now is a product of all those things that we've learned. When we started, we didn't know a lot. And these days when I hear the Hiva squad talking, I'm like, wow, like we are then able to put the art and the money together.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how little people know about the power of brands and all that. Some people do, and like they do this whole Instagram, social media thing. They take it very seriously. But there's a whole bunch of kids who feel like I am talented.
Or talented.
It's a challenge.
So like the talent is gonna make like so many people in the industry who are working towards their big break.
And the thing with big breaks is that they don't look the way they did a
No,
long time ago.
no. And these are filmmakers. A big break for a filmmaker isn't what it was in the 90s.
True.
Yeah.
For musicians, like everyone, the idea of big break is weird. So in the meantime, what happens when you're 35 years old and the big break didn't come?
Yeah.
And you've been working for all these years? Like, do you have a home?
Speaking of music, I dare you. You knew that was coming.
Wow, I did not know that was coming.
Really? What's happening? Are we getting new music? Is it done? Tujitegeme?
Mujitegeme, please. I don't know. I'm at a place where like I've been jumping. I do music, I do photography, I do film, I do. But I'm like, I'm at a place where I'm feeling like I want to do one thing now and just kind of.
Which is?
You'll see. Yeah,
Well,
so that's
I'm a huge
Hiva,
fan
pretty
of
much. Like we're like trying to figure out like.
Do you fund projects?
Yeah, we've been running now the fund for like 2 years, and like every year we give out money to like we run a call and people come and take apply for a loan, and the first group are given like between 250 and $1 million.
Yeah, 100. It used to be 250, and then it had to go up because then the costs of managing it became higher.
So we've given about like between 20 and 30 businesses, mostly in fashion, and then there's another group who are in photography, another group in crafts and handmade things. So, and the first group have now all kind of paid back. So that's very interesting because there's all this feedback. There's all this feedback about people saying like artists don't pay loans, but like now we have the data that says they actually do, and they're actually very conscientious about paying.
So do you give the money as a lump sum, or is it paid out like over
the point of the Hiva product is that it's flexible, right? So depending on what the exact needs are, even getting the whole thing as a lump sum can become paralyzing for the person that receives it, because like even if we sat down with business type people, we came up with a model for this is exactly how much your business can absorb right now, because they have all these modeling, financial modeling things, right? Yeah. And then you say that the business can now absorb 800,000 shillings right now. There's some people for whom, remember, because again, we're dealing with not people who have huge teams. They're still like in the startup going into being a small enterprise. So even if you gave them all that money immediately, it may not be immediately useful. So we have to decide with them, do you guys want this at this time, this next month, or in the next 3 months? So like it really depends on who the business person is and what they want.
So if it's paid out, say maybe every 3 months, do you need to see progress out of the project before disbursing the next one?
I think at every level there's a conversation, because like before the next disbursement, then you go and you visit. And like the guys that Hiva visit, they actually visit and they have conversations every month, and they check how are you guys doing, because there's sometimes like early this year a whole bunch of their businesses needed to kind of slow down because like the economy was doing a weird thing. So then they're all like, yo, things are not very good. So then now we kind of restructure. So that's how it works. It's
So it's
kind of
like a grants management system
It's-
that
it's-
you have,
yeah.
kind of.
Even though it's not a grant.
Yeah, even though it's not a grant, yeah.
But then it's
like
money. The point is the flexibility and the open communication, because the thing that needs to be built is trust.
Yeah.
The thing that needs to be built is trust. They need to trust us. We need to trust them. And that everybody's kind of in what's the word I'm looking for? Everybody's kind of intentions for the thing works, because the Hiva people give you the money because they want you to succeed.
Yeah.
And then you want the money because you want to succeed. You want to grow. You want to do all these things. So
Yeah. I think we can talk, the whole night. I just have one final question. One final question about the fund. And it's just flown out of my head.
wow.
I have a different question.
That is...
Great.
So you talk about how it's flexible and it's catered to whoever needs it, right? Yeah. So is the decision on how the money is paid out based on the person, or you guys, like, do you advise the people, like, maybe they may not know how they would need, like, the flow of money to come into their business?
Absolutely. The thing that Hiva does with our entrepreneurs is two things. One is definitely this capital outlay. The second is support. So the support is in stuff like definitely financial and business advice. It's also in stuff like how are your legals, how are your taxes, how is your registration company status, has your board of advisors had a meeting, how did that go, do you have a board, who does your books, do you know what your books say, because somebody can come and tell you the books are fine, but then punde si punde you find XYZ has been happening behind your back and you had no clue. And so like that's the kind of iteration that goes on between the folks at Hiva and the entrepreneurs. It's the learning from one another. So you go and you find this person has actually never quite understood X and Y and Z. So now it's the job of the people at Hiva to make sure that they understand it clearly by hook or crook.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like in the beginning, like all these bank people would come and say, oh, today we wore our colored shirts because we are coming to meet artists. And we're like, friends. So that was another kind of language thing that we had to do with our guys. Would be like,
So like they'll like come and think you're like unserious and informal and
I'm
whatever.
like, oh, you guys are so cute. Like you have little account books.
Look at your little paintbrushes.
So
Oh my God.
you'd
It's
be
exactly like
surprised.
that. It's exactly like that.
You'd be surprised at how
Yeah,
much translation you have to do.
Frustrating.
And like you have to consistently remain conscious about those things, because like even for us when we get into like finance space, it's very easy to like use econ, accounts, business terms, and then forget that your primary the primary population that you're serving do not use those terms in the course of their daily practice. Those are not the terms that are of value to them. Those are not the terms that are useful to if you have to pick up a certain like these fabrics and make this beautiful thing that somebody else is going to pay for.
It's not that they're dumb, because the theory has always been that artists are kind of dumb.
Yeah.
With like finance stuff.
Yeah. Or that people that like pretty things are,
shallow.
Yeah. You know, and like
how many
even people that
applications
like
do you
pretty things,
get?
such a reduction.
Wow.
I can imagine.
It's
It's
crazy. Like
overwhelming.
when we first put out the call, when no one knew what Hiva was, we got like 200 and something, which was like, okay, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Then like the next year we got like 1,000 and something.
Whoa.
And the next one we got like 2,000. Like it's crazy. So now we are getting to the place where we are feeling like, okay, we can't be giving like such a small number out of like 2,000 applications.
Yeah. So because we know you guys have a lot happening.
My
we're
God, we
giving
talk
you-
so much.
We
We talk so much.
No,
That was
it's
kind of the
great.
point.
Yeah, it's
Imagine
great.
you
I
came
wish
here and we just
had
looked at each other.
we had endless time to just keep going. But we give you, I think, 3 minutes to kind of just tell us what is coming. Like just to
What
plug
are you
out.
doing now? What you're doing, what you're consuming, something.
Okay, next we are doing, like, we're just producing stuff. Like, we're making...
And we never talk about like what
Do
we're
you
producing
work
as
at
we
the
produce
desk?
it.
Are you sure you know what's going on?
No. This isn't humility. It's also like like part of the process. We don't talk about things when we are making them
Until it's done.
Until it's done.
Oh, but yeah, we have a book coming out. It's called Not African Enough. It's
Oh,
That's
that's,
done.
Okay.
that's such a good title.
It's a fashion book where we've collected all the Kenyan fashion designers, and and a little bit of history of the fashion design scene. Yeah, so we've kind of just collected all those into a little book that we think will be useful. We hope will be useful.
Yeah.
So that's coming out in September or October?
September, I think end of September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll come through for the launch.
That would be great.
awesome.
That'll be
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And you have the Let This Be a Warning coming out as well.
Yeah.
Wow. So we did this VR film and we shot it in January and it's been going around, but as usual, it's hard to kind of figure out these things in Nairobi. But
Like, we need a conversation about how your art travels outside
Yeah.
first and
then comes back home.
Well, sometimes surprisingly, I find that it's usually an infrastructure issue. Sometimes, like a lot of people have been asking me why it took so long for like my own work to show here, and sometimes it was just that the prints are done in a weird place. The import duty. Sometimes it's not that we are. Anyway,
Yeah.
so we did this VR film, and it's finally showing at the Goethe Institute this weekend, 25th, 6th,
Yeah.
and 7th.
Yeah.
And we're just hoping guys will come and check it out. There's a whole bunch of other films. There's like 4 other films from across Africa, which is cool. Like, it's cool to see what's going on in Ghana, in
Yes.
Senegal.
Yes. There's the other fun thing we did recently was working with Contemporary And, who do like African contemporary art for the continent and the diaspora. So they called us and they said, let's do something fun together. So we're like, okay. So we did that, yeah, because they're really cool people. So they told us to design a bag. So we did that. And then they asked us to like take over the Instagram. So we made a bunch of images for that. And then today we premiered a short film. Yeah, called Let This Be a Warning, about Kenyans and Kenya. So it's up on...
It's called We Need Prayers.
Yeah, it's called We Need Prayers.
Yeah.
Not Let This Be a Warning. Look at me getting confused.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's
but
up
it's called
on-
We Need
up
Prayers.
It's up on contemporaryand.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
On one of their... They have what they call an art space, which is like they put all these fun things for people to see. Yeah, so we did that recently.
Where is the nest?
The Nest is at 23 Gatundu Road, which is almost like a home.
Yeah.
Can people just show up and chill?
Say
Like,
what's up.
it'll be hella boring because for you, if you just show up, because
Yeah.
you'll just come and find people working. Look, so like everybody comes and says, so this is where the magic happens.
And we're like,
I mean,
we
like,
have
just
meetings.
laptops.
Yes.
I was like, where is the art?
but
Where,
yeah.
you're not arting
Half
enough.
expect people like throwing
Exactly. So
paint.
it's like that thing of like us being a jukebox.
Yeah.
Someone comes and says like, be artists so
Yeah,
you can
do
see.
it.
Put
Do
in
it.
a coin.
Like today, we'd have seen a lot of paper pushing. We did
Yeah.
amazing paper pushing today.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, it was like forms and like requisitions.
So many.
And like
Ooh, big
7
artist
yeah,
words.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was amazing.
Sounds
Yeah.
amazing.
It was fascinating for all
Gosh,
concerned.
it's been great talking to you too.
Yes, it has.
Thank you so much for making time.
We're on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram as well.
Okay.
This is the nest.
Yes,
All
Yes.
of them.
Pretty much.
and Hiva Fund for the others.
yeah.
Okay.
And the film stuff that you used to do in Jabavu. Well, I enjoyed those days. I enjoy these days as well.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
It's a really nice making stuff.
Thank you so much
We'll
for
pass
being
it back to the people.
for being you
Yeah.
guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
for having us.
Thank you
also.
for
My huge
coming
fun. And I didn't cry, so
through. And you didn't freak out.
and I didn't freak out. So we can just clap for me.
We can clap for you.
Thank you.
God, Max, really?
So thanks. Who's the most pissed off person in this group? I believe that it is Lorizi. So we'll give her, I think, majority of time to just vent.
This isn't fair. So in this segment of the podcast, we like to talk about things that piss us off. For me personally, what is making me mad in this episode
What
is
doesn't make you mad?
really
Good one.
security checks at malls. Like, let's be honest, when they wave that wand in your general direction, it's never at you. It's Peter too. Then they check my bag. For what? Do you know what you're looking for? If a security guard actually found a bomb, what would they do?
Create a sense of
False security.
Especially like when you dress up as cosplay for one of these events and you can't exactly walk in with props without the haggle of
That's a nerd problem right there.
Listen, cosplay in general, as you're walking into whatever location, guys will just be like, that
What
guy
the-
has an ass. Right? Okay, what pisses you off then, Max?
Netflix. Kenyan Netflix is a sham.
It is.
I don't. What the? Honest to God. Why am I paying
Mungu
money? Right? First of all, I'm paying money. It's not for free. It's not a free service. And then I get some old ass shows. And then I get 2 seasons of a show that's like 6 seasons in.
Oh, yes.
You get so excited. You put on you invite people over.
Orange is
right?
the new black
You
is
light,
out.
You light candles. You invest in good food.
Make snacks.
You know? And
Get
then
booze.
you set up, you're like, oh, so you're on season 6. Okay, let's put 6.
Nothing.
No. Netflix is like, we only have
2
until
seasons in.
season 2. What is that? Yeah?
You're
Now I
black.
have to send people home because I'm pissed off, because they're pissed off. The food doesn't taste good anymore. Okay, no, the food always tastes good, but I'm pissed off. Yes. But why are you offering me the service then if
What
you're
is
not
the
going to
point?
pay for licensing for me to be able to get up to season 6? Because we have torrents. I'll just torrent and I'll watch it. But I just like the convenience of Netflix.
Of not having to download
stop
things.
fucking giving us a sham Netflix. I'm out.
That was Max.
Wow.
That was Max, in case
Wow.
you hadn't noticed.
Yeah.
Max with her
Visibly-
middle class
And
visibly
she had
problems.
just
pissed.
dropped her mic.
With her middle. she took that to the max.
Visibly upset. Visibly
I'm
upset.
visibly shaking.
Back to you, Tim, in studio. Okay, Jimmy, you tell us.
Otherwise-
The herb.
Nairobi drivers, on your approach to the Westlands roundabout, please slow down, because like you'll be standing there for 45 minutes after dark. Like no one will slow down for you to cross, and it really pisses me off because people die there. That always pisses me off, and I know that today I'll spend another 15 to 20 minutes waiting to cross that roundabout. So please change your attitude.
Boss, no gari.
Wow.
This
Wow.
pedestrian.
Change your attitude.
These pedestrian
We're going
problems.
to sign up Lorizi for sensitivity training because wow.
Imagine.
This
No, it's
actually
okay.
sucks because
Tutapatana.
I'm
Girl
actually
has a
mad
prime.
Cash me.
at pedestrians as a driver.
Oh.
But no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Cash,
I'm kidding.
cash me outside.
Yeah, my
There is
problem
a
actually,
problem.
I have as a driver anyway.
Hey.
I don't know if everybody had that. Twitter as a driver.
As a driver.
As a long-term
He's
driver,
responding
as
to
someone,
Jimmy, the pedestrian. You know one.
I know one. I know a pedestrian
I
actually.
have
Actually,
a pedestrian friend.
Two. I actually now know two.
All of my best friends are pedestrians.
Hi guys, thank you so much for listening to the Omenerds Podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast app, whether it's on Apple or Android. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr at Omenerds Podcast. That's OMENERDS. Or you could just go to omenerds.com. We'd love to hear from you. Omenerds Podcast is written and produced by me, Max, Lorizi, Twitter, Jimmy, and our producer, Teamwork. Is that a better Twitter?
Even the first one was fine.
It was
That's
fine.
what
We were just making
Right?
fun
Oh,
of
it's because you're looking at me like I did something wrong. Have you seen her looking at me?
Guys,
Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Bless your pals, Bana. Bless your pals. Friend.
Omenerds Podcast.